Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I'm doing my most anticipated January and February releases. So these are in order from release date. We're going to start out with January 9th, These Bitter Blooms by Emma Hamm. So it's about a girl whose gift of devouring plants and absorbing their hidden abilities does not make her stand out among her more magical peers. However, across a river, she is communicating with a boy who lives there, and he doesn't get on well in his family, so he thinks of her as bringing like such color to his life. And it says that this is dark academia meets, falls in love with, and then keeps goblin core. So this is for fans of witches, slow burn romances, and a little bit of magic. And I just really love that. I think goblin core is something that should be brought more into the mainstream. And as you'll see, there are quite a lot of books on this list that have women being devoured or devouring plants on the cover. I don't know what it is, but I think that any type of book like that just immediately intrigues me. So we're going to move on to January 10th. This is The Survivalists by Kashana Cauley. So it says, Aretha, a single black lawyer, puts her career and personal moral code at risk when she moves in with her coffee entrepreneur boyfriend and his doomsday prepping roommates in a novel that's packed with tension, curiosity, humor, and wit. It sounds fascinating because some of my own distant family in America, I wouldn't say they're doomsday preppers, but they are... Actually, no, it totally is. I know people who have bought like irradiation tablets in case of nuclear fallout, that kind of thing. So I just find doomsday preppers very intriguing. And I think that this particular lens, through the lens of a female black lawyer, is one that is very unique. So put them together and sounds very interesting. All right, next up on January 12th is Now She Is Witch by Kirsty Logan. I have loved The Grace Keepers by Kirsty Logan before, so this intrigues me. So it says, Lux has lost everything when Else finds her alone in the woods. However, she knows a lot about poisons. Else has not found Lux by accident. She needs her to help seek revenge against the man who wronged her, and together they pursue him north. But on their hunt, they will uncover dark secrets that entangle them with dangerous adversaries. A witch story unlike any other. Okay, it has so many buzzwords that I personally love. Witches, revenge, poison. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Okay, next up on January 17th is Please Report Your Bug Here by Josh Rydell. So this is an adrenaline-packed debut novel about a dating app employee who discovers a glitch that transports him to other worlds. It says it is adventurous, hyper-timely, a millennial coming-of-age story, a dark exploration of the corruption now synonymous with big tech, and above all, a testament to the power of human connection in our digital era. So I think it sounds obviously super self-aware, and I do like a bit of weird self-aware fiction, and the cover just like completely sold me. I don't know what it is, but I think neons on a cover are just my absolute cup of tea. All right, moving along. Out January 17th, the same day, is an absolutely amazing title. Whoever thought of this title, good job. I Keep My Exoskeletons to Myself by Marissa Crane. In the United States, not so unlike our own, the Department of Balance has adopted a radical new form of law enforcement. Rather than incarceration, wrongdoers are given a second and sometimes third, fourth, and fifth shadow as a reminder of their crime and a warning to those they encounter. However, within the department, corruption and prejudice run rampant, giving rise to an underclass of shadesters who are disenfranchised, publicly shamed, and deprived of civil rights protection. And other than the obvious metaphor or allegory for like the prison system This also has elements of queer resistance, which I think sound very fascinating. So now we're into February. February starting off with an absolute banger. This is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. So I have read her before. Dangers of Smoking in Bed was absolutely a legendary short story collection. If you're into that, it's very dark. And this one involves a young father and son who set out on a road trip. They're devastated by the death of his wife, his mother. United in grief, they travel to their family home where they must confront a terrifying legacy she has bequeathed. The woman they grieve came from a clan like no other, a centuries-old secret society called the Order that commits unspeakable acts in search of eternal life. For Gaspar, the son, this cult is his destiny. I think it sounds amazing. I would have read it anyway because I have loved the author's work before, but that cover and that story sound fabulous. Alright, after that we have, I don't think I mentioned, Mariana Enriquez is an Argentinian author from Buenos Aires, and yeah, she's one of the top Spanish translated authors that I love the most. I think I've done a video either on Spanish translated authors or Argentinian women writers. I'll leave the link to that video down below. Argentina, for some reason, I think is my favorite Spanish translated country to read from because just, I don't know, the writing from there is weird and dark and I love that. Alright, after that, on the same day, February 7th, is Brutes by Diz Tate. If that is the person's real name, Diz Tate, that's an amazing name. A gang of 13-year-old girls obsessively orbit around the local preacher's daughter, Sammy. She is mesmerizing, older, and in love with Eddie. But suddenly Sammy goes missing. Where is she? Watching from a distance, they edge ever closer to discovering a dark secret about their fame-hungry town and the cruel cost of a ticket out. What they discover will haunt them for the rest of their life. I like coming-of-age stories when there are really dark elements. If it's just like lighter coming-of-age, I'm less interested. There has to be some darker elements in there. Recently, in the last few years, Italy has been really smashing it out of the park with dark coming-of-age stories. And I recently read one that was set in Spain, I believe it is, and it was amazing. I'll talk about it in my next wrap up. Next up is Where Darkness Blooms, out February 21st. So again, this has a cover that I absolutely love because look, it's not only flowers and a girl, she's literally already being like consumed, subsumed, integrated into what I assume are sunflowers because it says, the town of Bishop is known for two things: recurring windstorms, an endless field of sunflowers, and women missing women. So when 3 more women disappear on a stormy night, no one is surprised. The case is closed and their daughters are left in their dusty shared house with the shattered pieces of their lives, until the wind kicks up a terrible secret at their mother's much-delayed memorial. Bishop has always been a strange town, but what the girls don't know is that Bishop was founded on blood, and now it craves theirs. So yeah, I think it sounds dark and yeah, involves deadly plant life. Okay, next up we have Sister Maiden Monster by Lucy A. Snyder, also out February 21st. This is set in the aftermath of Earth's transformation after a virus, told through 3 POVs. So first we have Erin. Once quiet and closeted, she acquires an appetite for a woman and her brain. Savannah, a professional BDSM switch who discovers a new turn-on, committing brutal murders for her eldritch masters. And Mariva, plagued with chronic tumors, she is too horrified to acknowledge her divine role in the coming apocalypse. And as her growths multiply, so too does her desperation. This reminds me of a short story that was in the collection From the Neck Up by Alea Whiteley. So yeah, I'm interested in every single one of those characters. And I hope that it's executed well, because if so, I think it would be really, 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 really good. Okay. After that, we have How to Marry a Marble Marquis by C.M. Nascosta. So normally romances don't usually make my most anticipated, but this is the author who wrote Morning Glory Milking Farm, which is about milking minotaurs, and I found it compulsively readable, funny, and oddly sweet. So I'm charmed by this author. This is a romance dealing with Regency England and gargoyles, and if anyone else had a bit of a sexual awakening with the show Gargoyles, I think that this would be for you. Yeah, so it's for me. My penultimate most anticipated is She Is a Haunting, which again, look, is it plant life? I think it's flowers in her mouth. So again, with the flowers and the growth. It says, a house with a terrifying appetite haunts a broken family with atmospheric horror. It compares it to Mexican Gothic, which isn't my cup of tea. I didn't love American Gothic. I think I gave it 3 stars, 3.5. So I'm just gonna push that fact to the side and carry on. So when Jade arrives in Vietnam for a visit with her estranged father, she has one goal: survive the 5 weeks. However, the house has other plans. Night after night, she wakes up paralyzed. The walls exude a thrumming sound while bugs leave their legs and feelers in places they don't belong. Oh my god, I just read a really messed up buggish story in a short story collection, which, oh my god. Okay, anyway, moving on. She finds curious traces of her ancestors in the gardens they once tended, and at night she can't ignore the ghost of the beautiful bride who leaves her cryptic warnings: don't eat. I think it sounds so creepy, dark, and fun. Fun for me, not fun for Jade. Last up is The Crane Husband by Kelly Barnhill, out February 28th. This is a retelling of The Crane Wife, where a woman falls in love with like a literal 6-foot crane and brings him home, where she has 2 children. And this is a story told from the daughter's point of view, who's having to shoulder more than she should. And it's really like a look at their family, and it's dark and it's bizarre, but I wasn't so sold on it. But one of the reviews said that the setting is in the not so distant future where all farms have been taken over by a corporation and those left in rural communities live alongside electric fences and drones that monitor the crops. So with that backdrop in mind, like it's futuristic, I was sold, because then it ties into like my future AI like loving self. So those are all of my most anticipated releases that are coming out in January and February. Let me know which ones you are excited for, and I will add them to my list. There are so many good books coming out this year. I'm very, very excited. And I hope that my library gets a bunch of them, because it's so interesting which ones come to Australia, usually British over American, which is just very fascinating to me. Anyway, lots of love, and I'll talk to you in another video soon. Bye!